typically how we begin the day. We go over any issues that the previous watch has had, any bolos or lookouts to go over, any issues going on throughout the precinct. That way everyone's aware of them. We'll discuss any issues that maybe happened over the previous night. And then I usually try and end roll call on a light note or a positive note to keep everyone smiling. Sometimes this job can be difficult, so leaving with a joke or two really helps out, I think. Once we finish roll call, everyone is given an assignment for a specific territory, anywhere from 520s down to 570s. The territories are split up throughout the precinct. At the beginning of the watch, the officers find out what territory they're working, and after roll call, that's the area that they go to, and they patrol that area until they get a call in that area. Currently, we have 23 officers assigned to evening watch. There are 4 sergeants and 1 lieutenant. The officers, we count everyone that's assigned to evening watch, even if they're not actually working. For example, right now we've got Officer Catino, who is assigned to evening watch, but he's on active duty military leave overseas. We've got 1 officer who is on light restricted duty, so she is assisting upstairs in our screening desk, but she's not actually on the road in a uniform handling 911 calls. Right now we're on Railroad Ave and Main Street. We're standing by for the Tucker High School homecoming parade to begin. So we just finished the parade. The first thing I want to do is check and see what calls we're out on and what, if anything, is pending. So this is our screen that shows what officer is out on what call. And then we will check and see what's pending, which is nothing. We always like to see that. So this is the perspective from the officer's point of view. I've got my GPS, my computer. Beneath the computer is a car radio. Beneath that is a light and siren box. We've got a microphone to use to talk to radio. And then hidden right there is the microphone for the PA system. I heard him go out on the radio advising that he was out on a traffic stop. So if you're in the area, typically another officer will stop by just to see if you need assistance. So that's all it was. We are heading to Lawrenceville Highway and Fellowship to see if we can catch anyone cutting through the turn lane going southbound. Typically, you don't have to wait long for someone to do that. So we'll hang out here and see what we see. So this would be the first customer of the day. On a traffic stop, typically the first thing I'm going to do is advise radio where I'm at and the vehicle I'm on. That way, if anything happens, they'll know where I'm at. Our body cameras are set up so that if the blue lights are on and I get out of the vehicle, it automatically starts recording. So that helps me. Once I get the vehicle stopped, I'll approach, ask for the driver's license, explain to them why they were pulled over, and then come back to the vehicle and check their information, both the tag and the license, to make sure everything's good with them.
What did that driver tell you for a reason for making an illegal lane change?
On that one, she stated that she was unfamiliar with the area and did not realize it until the last minute, and that's why she got over. And she thought since she used her turn signal, it was okay. I explained to her that even if you're using your turn signal, when you do it in the middle of the intersection like that, it's illegal and it's dangerous. I also, once I went back and issued or gave her her citation, she wanted to know if I could make it a warning. I explained to her that due to the accidents in this intersection and in the area, that I wasn't able to do that. So normally what we'll do is if we're doing, actually coming in to stop people, we'll park someone right here and walk back in there on foot. So buddy in the blue shirt, yeah. And this has been like this since I started 19 years ago. So we know it's a problem. We're over here all the time. The last arrest I made over here was probably a month ago, and 3 days later, other officers came back and they were right back out there doing the same thing.
Sierra Hotel uniform, November. Tango Alpha, November.
It's actually pretty good.
Number 0502.
As you may have heard, someone just yelled at 12.
Yep.
That's to let everyone in the area know that the cops are here. Sometimes it's adults like that. Other times I've seen little 8 and 9-year-olds yelling 12 as we pull into an apartment complex. The big brother or the kids that they're hanging with say, hey, I want you hanging out on this corner block, and when you see the cops, I need you to yell 12. That way we know they're here.
Right.
But it could also be, like you said, they see everyone else doing it, so they want to be part of the cool kids,
Right.
and they repeat what they see. Either way, it's not very good. They did a study a few years ago on officers being shot, and they said that 60% of officers shot they categorized them as ambush-style shootings, and that they were shot within the first, I believe, 60 seconds of them getting at the location. So because of that, you're trained to get out of your vehicle as soon as it stops, because the vehicle is a target. We are heading to Stone Mountain Inn just to ride through and see what's going on. It's actually gotten a lot better. The management's been working with us. They've hired a security officer who monitors the parking lot, but we still like to ride through and give a visible presence to let everyone know we're still around. But usually we're looking for anyone loitering in the breezeways, around vehicles, just to see what they're doing. This was something I've always wanted to do, even before I can remember it. My parents told me I always wanted to be a police officer. So it was just one of those things that kind of stuck. The biggest thing you're looking for are entering autos and stolen vehicles. Those are because there are a lot of vehicles, potential targets for criminals. That's typically where you find those at. So that's what we're looking for. Anyone loitering or looking suspicious around the vehicles. That was a 911 hang-up call that we received from the customer service desk at the Kroger. So we stopped by to see what was going on. The cashier said that someone had used the phone a little bit before her to call someone, and it must have been during that time, but that there weren't any issues. So it was just a matter of closing the call out. So we're going to go back, Officer Mueller, on an alarm call.
Go ahead. Last name, Charles. First name, Angela.
That's it. I can't tell if this is it or not. See, I don't know if this is it or not. We'll shut the front door just to be safe.
42 showing subject Angela Hall. Suspended license for failure to appear. Negative on 29th.
Neither one of them is what the call actually says, but I was going to check all three positions.
Actually, if you go to the front on the left side, those double doors, when you look inside, you can see a sign that says the Stone Ridge Event Center.
1521.
Temporary contact, main Phelps Park line on the blue. Honda Odyssey van, bearing Georgia Tech, Papa Kilo, Papa 7523, occupy one time.
Yep.
Mr. 4.
I was here at 1, taking pictures.
Show me route to 1915 Grandview Circle in reference to this call.
So nothing at all?
What's the call at the gas station?
Narcotic activity is all it says. See, there are 3 red sedans. RDP 7784.
To clear out the back 531.
It's one over there.
That's what I'm thinking too, because it's been here like all day.
And it matches the tag.
521 to 531.
I didn't know they gave a tag. Whenever I drove by, there were 2 males by it, so they've walked off. East Ponce and Juliet on a white Acura, no tag, occupied one time.
Cold Subaru. Complaint's gonna be a red Hyundai Elantra. It was 26, 28, or 69. All parties are 10-7.
Day or night, we're still hyper vigilant, is what some refer to it as. The average person is probably not really paying attention to their surroundings, or if they are, it's only slightly. Whereas an officer is always looking around for the threat. It sounds paranoid, but to a degree, we expect that everyone is armed. That way we're never surprised when someone is.